So, wearing masks, I think that to a certain extent, living life, you have to wear a mask. And for example, like I wake up every day. I wake up every day at 4 a.m., 4 a.m., 3 a.m. And before I leave my house, like I got to put on my mask and Kevin has to go interact with the outside world. And to a certain extent, I don't like having to do that. I don't like having to kind of put up this facade of who I am to the outside world, even though the facade and the mask isn't too crazy or it isn't too different from who I really am, like spiritually. It's just I don't like that I have to do that. I don't like that I have to a certain extent, cover myself up to make sure that I'm not causing any problems. And that's just who I am. I'm always kind of the person where I learned to adjust to people very quick, and and to a certain extent, I had to think for people. And not for thinking for people that had their own type of intelligence, but people that don't have it, that don't have no intelligence. So that mask has to come on to protect people from themselves, protect people from their own ignorance. So and and it was just something I was realizing today, like to a certain extent, that like you had to put that mask on, you had to be inside your ego to even exist inside reality, because your ego to a certain extent it protect you, even though for the most part it works against you. Literally 90% of the time it's gonna work against you because it wants you to be comfortable. It don't want you taking no chances within yourself. It wants you to feel like you actually done work and you really haven't. That's one thing I peep is that, with myself, like whenever I feel myself getting arrogant or feeling good about myself, especially when I haven't done anything, I can usually tell it's like my ego trying to, it's like it's fishing for something. And usually when I get that feeling, I have to subdue it, because your ego will have you in this whole deluded state where you're not in reality, and really you think you're getting work done, in reality you're really not, and you're really in the same position you have been in. And to a certain extent, in reality, I keep saying in reality, in real life, you don't really see the fruits of your labor, especially if you're doing like, just say like YouTube. I've been doing YouTube on and off for years, since I've been in high school. And like I said, I'm only at like 715 subscribers. And it's like something that you do, you just won't see the results of it until years later. And that's something I had to understand. But my ego can't wrap that around. It's like his brain. It's like I need to be where I need to be at right now. And it's like that's something I've been struggling with hard. Is like, I got goals for myself, but my brain and my ego just won't allow myself like to be okay or just be patient with the process. And essentially, like, your ego is that mask, and your mask is that ego. And that ego is like, and the crazy thing about your ego, some I heard Brother Rich say was like, it's kind of crazy that some people do all the spiritual work, you really doing it for your soul. But the crazy thing is, it's some people that really done a lot of great things in their life, and their ego is the thing that really lives on for however long it does, and it gains the most benefit from it. Even though in reality, it works against you 90% of the time. But yeah, your ego will have you in this deluded state, and that's why I have to keep myself in check at times. I'm like, and start practicing non-attachment, because when you are in your ego, it's like suffering. It's a breeding ground for suffering. When you are in your ego, things are bound to go wrong. Things are bound to get taken from you. Losses are bound to come. Just like happy moments, just like, just moments where there's excitement. And these type of things are bound to leave you. And the thing about the ego is that the ego wants to like own it. It wants to keep it. It wants to possess it. And that's kind of, even in relating it back to people, that's kind of why like the average person is like very egotistical. And it's like, that's because the average person is in search to possess something. They on this journey to possess something, and you can't really possess a lot of things in life. Everything is always fleeting. That's one thing I've grown to understand very quickly growing up, is that all this shit that I have is gonna be gone one day. And I think the craziest thing is that even your life, it's not even yours, it's gonna be gone one day, and you have no control about when you're gonna lose it. So don't ever allow yourself to even get so caught up in, you know, calling something yours, or, you know, that I, that great I. And I think Bruce Lee said, like, the I don't exist. So, yeah. Don't get caught up in your ego too much, you know. All that shit is to serve is to delude you and keep you in a space where you're not really doing the work, right? And like I said, in the world of, in the material plane, and we just in reality, that's what all people be doing. They all just, life is just about smoke and mirrors in the sense of like dealing with people. And most people, they not real. They just like to, like, the smoke and mirrors about their life. And that's why I can't really hang around people either. Like, cause I'm too honest. Even if I'm fucking up, I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all, like, and with people. Like, I was at work I'll be at work telling embarrassing stories just because that's just me. Like, sometimes the shit just funny, man. I like, and I keep it as real as that. But some people, they have a hard time with seeing themselves in a messed up position. And I don't want to say I feel bad for them, because it's just, you know, it's a part of the game, right? But, you know, and I was there at a certain point in time. That's another thing I had to, and that's another thing about the ego. The ego try to make you feel like you're better than people, and every time I feel like that, I have to cut that shit out quick, because that shit is like some of the most lamest shit I had to peep. Like, at times where I feel like I was better than somebody, as I grew spiritually, you got to understand it's like essentially everybody is the same person. Like, it's literally everybody's the same person with different storylines, but the overall character is still the same. Like I said, people got ups and downs, they going through this and that, but the specifics are different. So I always been like, in my first mind, I don't try to shit on people. I don't try to talk down on people in the sense of like character, because sometimes people just, that's like that they were given, and they just don't understand that. They don't have enough awareness to know better, to do anything better. And even with family and things like that, you got to understand that you can't really do anything about it. I had to learn that all you can really do is pray about it. But that's me getting straight and from the point. Your ego will make you feel like you're better than somebody, and they are in the same predicament that you were in, and they just, in a sense, like a previous version of yourself. And it's like, speaking down on people like that, it's just like, in a sense, I feel like you get bad karma for shit like that. So I kind of like try to watch my mouth as much as I can, and try to keep enough awareness with that when I'm even just going around my daily life. Because sometimes, I ain't gonna lie, because let's say, for example, I get into somebody at work or something, not a coworker, but like an employee, you know, they be trying to pull a card, like, I don't know, they be trying to flex on you, things like that. And it's like, people just don't understand. Like, people be having so little awareness in, like, I guess, the journey of life, that they just, like I said, just go to their head. And like I said, that's one thing I have a big fear about, is losing my mind and losing control of my own, like, losing control of common sense. Like, in a space where common sense, like, do not exist for me no more, that scares me. Me losing my mind is terrifying to me. Only because I think I'm the one. I ain't gonna lie. I'm all confident. Me being confident, I just think I'm the one for everything. I think I'm supposed to be the one. I think I'm, in a sense, I think I'm the golden child. I ain't gonna lie. And that just terrifies the fuck out of me. So I always try to remain as humble as I can for who, you know, what my mission is and what I believe my divine purpose is, for real. So, yeah. If you like the video, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see y'all later. Thank you.